What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Charles. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Today, I have with me a special guest,
What's up, y'all? I'm Kia Chisholm.
and we are going to talk to you guys today about balance.
The thing that nobody seems to get.
No, nobody. Well, you know what? That's the truth. Because when you're a kid, like it's hard to even grasp the concept of balance. Like you just want all the candy, you just want all the dessert. Like, why you got these vegetables out here? Like, so no, you're right. Like, don't nobody. That's human nature is to be unbalanced. Like to want to be unbalanced.
But that's the part that drives us insane, though. So I think that's why today's topic is going to be so important and so dope.
Correct. Well, shoot, if you wanna bless us first, go ahead, Fizzle.
All right. So, y'all, when it comes to balance, we got to understand that you just gonna have to get to a space where you don't do everything all the time, every day, right? So we have this idea and this concept that you can wake up and your whole list for the day is going to include every single last one of your goals. And that's not realistic. So let's say you have a goal to go natural, lose weight, start a business, get married. Like all of that's not going to happen within 24 hours. Sure. But for some reason, we make our to-do list as if it's possible, right? So an example of this, when you create your to-do list, you say, okay, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to eat. After I eat, I'm going to talk to 20 different clients. After I talk to 20 different clients, I'm going to still have enough energy, so I'm going to eat again. After I eat, I'm going to go read a book for 3 hours, and then I'm going to go write because everybody wants to meditate these days. After I get done doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? After I get done doing all of that, I'm going to go to the gym again because for some reason I must have an extra hour in the day. You get back in the gym. Now you're ready to plan your content. You shoot a video and you're going to do a podcast. Oh, and you're going to talk to all of your family members today. You're going to make sure your loved ones feel like they're still in your inner corner. And then you still going to have some me time. That's not going to happen.
That's unrealistic.
It's not going to happen. It's unrealistic. And it sucks because people are extremists to like the left and the right. People either do absolutely nothing in a day or they try to do absolutely everything in a day. And that neither one of those is balanced, right? So what would it look like? What I use for myself is, okay, these are my goals for the quarter. That means I'm going to break those down as to goals for the month. Now that I have an idea of what my major goal is for this month, in conjunction to what my actual goal is for the quarter, that means every week I can set specific days for specific things, right? So on Sundays are basically like get the week right because Saturday is technically my Sabbath. So Sunday is like my day one, right? So you have Monday versus Sunday. Sunday's like my Monday. And so I use that to just plan, like a bunch of planning. And once I have my plan done for the week, it's like, okay, Monday we are working with clients and we're doing content. On Tuesdays we're going to have in-person meetings. We're going to write specifically for whatever projects are involved. And at that point, we might be able to shoot something. On Wednesdays, we're going to go to church. We're going to make sure that I take out a couple of hours or maybe like 1 to 2 hours to hit up different family members, make sure they know I'm alive and that I love them. But I'm also going to work on something in regards to like my business. On Thursdays, it'll be in-person meetings again. On Friday, I have half the day to make sure I spend time with my mentees. I spend time with my mentors. I get coaching. I get trained, etc. And then Friday night, I go into Sabbath. Saturday, I have church. I serve. And then by the end of Saturday, I can get back to doing anything else I want. Usually something for my mentees. Okay. The reason why I love that strategy is because I know for a fact that I'm not going to try to do it all in a day. And because my days are very specific, that means I actually have more time to do those things. When you put 30,000 things on your to-do list every single day, you probably only have like 30 minutes to an hour to do each of those tasks. But when you set aside 24 hours at a time, that means you have a solid 18 hours to focus in on whatever that is. That is going to increase your level of mastery, but it's also going to make sure you're not going crazy internally, right? My strategy for making sure I don't do everything in a day. Now, in regards to balance and sacrifice, this is going to be part of the word that I don't think people are going to like. And I say that because we think we can still have it all right now. Even if you do delegate certain days to certain things and certain weeks to certain projects, like at the end of the day, yes, you can have a social life. You can have a spiritual life. You can have a physical life in regards to like health. You can have a business life. You can have all of those things. But in certain seasons, the sacrifice is just going to have to look differently. So let's say that you decide, or somebody says, I want to be able to write a book, right? Now, writing a book takes a whole lot of time, specifically because you have to write it, you have to edit it, then 30,000 people have to go edit it, and then after they edit it, then you're supposed to like the publishing pieces to it, right? So it takes a whole lot of your mental energy. But if you want to write a book and you simultaneously want to go clubbing all the time, and you simultaneously want to be involved in the church, and you simultaneously, like, it can't work like that.
Can't work.
So you know what I'm saying? So you would have to literally set your life up to where it's like, okay, in order for me, I have a huge project right now, and most of my energy needs to go here. But I also want to maintain some sort of a social life. You need to figure out something that can set itself up that still helps you in regards to that project. So let's say you and your friends, instead of like going and spending money, y'all hit up a coffee shop or something and y'all get to talk with each other, but y'all are still like engaging in or whatever the project is. Or you take a trip to the park, or you take a trip to like a restaurant that you've never been to. Things that don't take a whole lot of your time and things that don't take a whole lot of your energy at the exact same time. Because again, most of your energy is going towards this quote unquote book, whatever the project may be for this individual. But you can also be on the reverse. So let's say you finish the book and you're tired, your hair is gray, you look like an author at this point, and you just need to reset yourself socially. Okay, if you're gonna reset yourself socially, you're gonna have to put a plan in place too. It's the same process. It doesn't matter what type of project, what type of atmosphere, et cetera, that you might be entering into. And so let's say that you need to reboot socially, so you carve out time for a retreat, and you let yourself know, okay, and during this month, I'm gonna take 3 days specifically to myself. I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. And you make sure that everything else around you, every decision you make, leads up to that 3-day retreat. I think that, it's like the issue.
A little gold right there. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the issue is that we feel like we have to have it all, first of all, which means we're entitled. It means that we're privileged. But at the exact same time, when we want it all, we don't put in practical steps to where we can actually obtain all of those things. Like, nobody is saying, don't sleep, don't eat right, and that's how you gonna get the dream. And typically people that say that don't have the dream. Like, Gary Vee goes to sleep. Diddy goes to sleep. Eric Thomas goes to sleep. They have very specific videos where they have even apologized for making people think that they don't get 8 hours. Now, do they get 8 hours of sleep every single night? No, nobody gets 8 hours of sleep every single night. But majority of the time, they're just capitalizing on the 18 hours that they do have.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that's where the balance really is. And then the last part that I really just have for y'all is to really just drive home that balance, even though it is a job in the initial stages of you trying to obtain balance, it is a necessity. Like, we are losing leaders, we are losing activists, we are losing people that are amazing at their field due to them becoming insane with the grind, like, or insane with the hustle. And you know what I'm saying? Like, hallelujah, like, say amen or ouch. Like, at the end of the day, I think that we have to get to a space where we understand if we do not take care of ourselves, it doesn't matter what we do for the world, because we're not going to be here long enough to see the change actually happen or the fruits of our labor. And that's just period. So, but a way that we can actually start to, like, make it something that we actively think about is I recommend everybody that, like, getting a journal or using the notes on their phone, whichever one is more convenient or more nostalgic for you, is like sitting down and saying, okay, these are the things I said I was going to do today. These are the things I did. This is how much time it took me to do those things. And this is how I felt after I did all that in a day. If every day you get to the part and it says, how did you feel? And you feel like you've been ransacked and you need Jehovah Jireh to come on down and, like, save you from whatever your mess is, like, you might be out of balance. Actually, you are out of balance. Because just because you are tired does not mean that you should feel as if, like, you're losing a grip on your mental sanity in the process, right? Like, having a long day and it just tires you out is 10 times different than having a day where you feel like you can't even breathe by the end of it. And, or you didn't take precautions in regards to what you were eating. You didn't get up and move your body. Like, you just, at that point, you're a slave to the grind. And the grind is not supposed to enslave you. The whole purpose of grinding is really to accomplish social freedom, right? And if you're not accomplishing that social freedom, then you're doing the exact same thing that everybody else is doing it. It just looks a little more glamorous because you're working harder than everybody else. But there's no real fruit in that because there's no balance in that. So yes, after you get done, let's say you do it for 3 days, this writing journal or this prompt. And after you get done, you look at it and says, okay, at that point, you have to come up with a game plan on what you're going to do to alleviate stress. And it's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a week, but you will see small changes throughout the day as you actively tell yourself, no, I'm done working on this. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to shift to this. Or no, I'm done thinking about everybody else today. I'm going to think about myself today. And that's just that. And once you're able to see those different pieces and you're able to, like, actually feel the change, it could be 2 months later, but your life would be 10 times better. And I guarantee your work will be 10 times better because you're no longer stressed and because you're finally in a space of balance. So those are the 3 points that I got. But I know you're about to bless us with some heat, so go ahead.
I want to just, like, double back, because, like, when you talk about whenever you're overexerting yourself, and then a lot of times we turn to God and go, well, God, help me out. And we know that God didn't tell you to do all this in the first place.
Nope.
Like,
or he told you to do it, but he didn't say do it now.
Like that, that's the part I feel like people might skip over. Because, like, a lot of times you're right. Like, we always think just because we're doing it, God's going to automatically bless it, which ain't the case. It's just at the time to do it. Like, that was magic right there, y'all. you killed that one. That was nice. I like that.
Because it's all about times and seasons. Like, God, I don't understand why we think we're supposed to have it all, do it all in one moment when God created seasons, literal seasons where the weather changes. The earth in itself goes through shifts. and we don't think we gonna go through shit, like, that don't make no sense to me. Like, if the weather is going to impact and the weather knows, all right, it's time for us to heat up, all right, it's time for us to cool down, things need to die now so things can be reborn again, and we don't match that same energy, we are always it's like we always want it to be summer. Like, we always want it to be summer. You outside, you grinding. I think everybody.
Instagram's always popping. You're always in the club. You're always winning. Yeah.
Everything's sweet. But then fall comes and it's like, hold on, partner, like I wasn't really expecting this year. Like, and God
you
was like,
only got summer clothes. You don't have winter
you know
clothes.
what I'm saying?
You're not ready.
Like, you only got sandals, but you live in Michigan. If you don't go get some snow boots and get ready for a winter storm, don't play. Like, don't play with it. But that's exactly what we do. We play with it. Like, when it comes to times and seasons, we never really ask God. Like, we feel like we hear a word from God, and then we never ask the next question that says, okay, do you want me to do this now? Or are you just showing me something that's about my future, and you want me to prepare for it now? Like, I think we get caught up in this execution game, and that means we're not doing it for God. We're doing it for man. We're doing it for, like, bragging rights. And that in itself is, he said that not the attention of man, but basically living your life for man is like a snare. And I don't know if you've ever seen a snare before. But it's used to trap animals, and animals lose their limbs to this thing. So the whole idea is to make sure they can't move forward anymore. So if me living my life for a man, and then, okay, that sounds like I'm trying to throw off the patriarchy, but like, if me living my life.
No, it sounds like you're telling the truth. Keep going. Because somebody doesn't say nothing. Go ahead. Please now.
Like, if me living my life for men as in humanity or whatever, is a snare, that means every time I make a move that's supposed to benefit a man, I actually, like, decapitate myself. Every single time. That don't make no sense to me. When I could have just took my time, because nature don't rush and everything gets accomplished, okay? And making sure that I'm in alignment with who God said I was and doing exactly what God told me to do right now.
You own, bro. No, but for real, you hit that on the head, bro. Because it's like our instincts keep kicking in. Where I think I got this, but I mean, you can't succeed like that. We got to step outside of ourselves
every single time. I mean, and trust me, it's hard. God checks me like every 2 days and be like, oh shit. That sounded like a good idea to you. That didn't sound like a good idea to me.
It need to be so tough.
Every single time. But that's okay though, because that's where grace come in. We ain't gotta go there though. That's a whole other conversation.
Well, I'll touch on my keys to balance, my 3 keys to balance. Hopefully you guys have your notes, your pens, your pads.
They better.
Go ahead and, for the first note I want you to take, it takes a team to fertilize your gift. It takes a team to fertilize your gift. Whether you know it or not, you don't have all the answers. I know a lot of the time as people, we think we have the answer, or I can figure it out, or just give me some time. But at the end of the day, you need a group of people around you that are going to help you grow and develop into the best version of whatever you're going to be or whatever it is that you're doing. So for me, I try to have somebody in each section of what I do. I do painting, I do videography, and I do leadership activities. So I'll Google who's the top guy. I Google who's the top black painter in my area. I got in contact with him. Turns out he taught at a school that was nearby, and I enrolled in his classes. I found out who was the top videographer in my area. I found out what school he taught at. I took took classes with him. So, I mean, putting yourself around people who are going to be honest with you and tell you, hey, this is the way to do it. I know you've been doing it this way. This is a better way. And then you really being humble enough to accept their advice or accept the advice of people around you when they tell you, hey, there's the better way, and getting out your own way. That's really the first key. You need a team. You need somebody that you deem worthy or deem, I guess, verbally or mentally in a position to tell you, hey, this is the best way to do this, to tell you how to get things done.
Exactly.
So that's how you optimize your efficiency. Second point, don't be afraid to take L's, because L's are going to come. L's are going to come. You're going to throw an event and people might not show up. That doesn't mean don't stop throwing events. You're going to start the clothing line and you might not sell or move any units. That doesn't mean stop the clothing line. That just means it's time for us to reflect and adapt. Reflect on, okay, why did this not work? Why did this not happen? What did I do wrong? And adapt and take feedback. I have a lot of friends that whenever they meet something or meet a L, nobody showed to the event, nobody bought my CD, nobody downloaded my podcast, they get mad at the people.
Right.
They get mad, and at the end of the day, you got to realize whatever it is you're doing, you're a servant. First off, you're here to provide whatever the gift is that you have. You're giving it to somebody. If it's singing, if it's your marketing, if it's comedy, you're giving your gift to somebody. You're serving somebody. So if you didn't get mad at the people because they didn't show up, or get mad at the people because they stopped coming to your restaurant, you have to be man or woman enough to say, you know what, I'm not serving good food. My jokes aren't really that funny.
Come on.
My key's really not. I'm not singing at the right key, and you have to go ahead and now you got to adjust, make the appropriate adjustments, and just try again. And I know those L's are tough. I know those L's really humble you, but that's the only way to really develop. If you want your gift to be the best version of itself, you have to be able to take as many L's you can early, because you would hate to finesse your way to the top and just get totally embarrassed. That's really not how you want to go out.
That's crazy, because my pastor was just teaching me. He was like, when it comes to your gifting, Satan will sometimes place opportunities in front of you that make you rush, because Satan don't care about processing you. He just want to get you to the tippy top, so when he knocks you down, everybody can see it.
That's it. For real. So it behooves you to get as much feedback as you can. I mean, ask. You wonder why you see note cards when you go to restaurants. It's not, those aren't there for play. They're really absorbing this information. They're really trying to capitalize on how they can make you feel comfortable, because at the end of the day, it is about equity.
Yeah.
I mean, ministry takes money. No matter what it is your gift is, it takes money to have it function at the best of its ability. And to get that capital and to get that money from these individuals, they need to enjoy themselves. So you need that feedback. You need to hear what they're going to say. Okay, you know what? Shoot. You don't like the fact that I wear red to all my sets? I'm going to mix it up for y'all. I'm going to start wearing. But you need to really figure out what it is. What do people want from you and your gift and your abilities? And
then be able to make sure you asking the right people. You might be failing because you got the wrong audience.
This is very true. This is very true. If you're a stand-up comedian, but instead of asking the people at the nightclub what I could do better, you asking your friends who didn't show up to your event.
What you think?
Your event will be trash next time. You gotta, you definitely gotta make sure that you're fishing in the right pool. Otherwise, it's all for show. Like you were saying earlier, it's all for Instagram. I'm throwing this event a little cute for y'all, for my followers.
Exactly. Meanwhile, didn't nobody grow from that? You didn't grow from that, and you still out of balance because now you feel like you a hamster on a little wheel.
Right. And it's not too long before you tumble over. I mean, your team just showed you that they fake because they ain't tell you, and they didn't show up to your event.
I'm about to say they didn't show up.
They didn't show up, and then now they probably gassed you up about taking this L, and you're in your feelings, and they just added to it. Yeah, bump them. Haters gonna hate. Nah, ain't no hater. It's just poor, and especially in our community, we love to get mad at each other and say you don't want to support, black businesses. Well, I'm gonna be honest. We didn't support H&M whenever they was tripping. We didn't support LA Fitness. Right. When something's bad, you just don't support it. So just because you're black and I paid you to do a service, you showed up 15 minutes late. Mm-hmm. My order is wrong, and my food is cold. Surprise! Your Yelp is gonna be horrible. People always try to tear down black business. No, you don't have it. You don't have no balance, bro. I mean, if you couldn't cook today, you should have hired a cook or something. I don't know what to tell you. But we got to quit making excuses for not wanting to take the L. Just take your L and move on. Exactly,
because when you're imbalanced, you are going to produce terrible work. Period. Like you can only be out of whack for so long before the food do get whack, before the jokes do get whack, before the writing does get whack. Like, people can tell when you're not taking care of yourself because your work gets stale, and don't nobody want to eat no stale food.
So the third one, to kind of piggyback on all the other two I said, is you need to have a safe place to be vulnerable. A safe place to be vulnerable, because it's like construction work. You are going to get torn down. I mean, taking L's, hearing criticism from the team, you're going to have some negative thoughts, and those thoughts need to have a safe place to go. You need to have a safe place to put those negative thoughts in. And I want you to hear me clearly on this. Even if you have to pay somebody to have a safe place to put those thoughts, and yes, black community, I'm talking to you about therapy, you need to find you a safe place, a safe grouping to filter how your emotions are. I know, especially as a black man, you grow up in a society, you listen to music, we have entertainment that does not promote being emotional, talking about your emotions, saying that you're vulnerable, saying that you're sad, saying that I want to vent, or I want to cry, I want to be angry, I want to be mad. You can't say that. You're supposed to internalize that. You're supposed to bottle that up, and then one day when you explode, you become a statistic, or you become, the angry black guy at work. But it is okay to have a place to filter. Actually, in the Bible, in James, chapter 5, verse 6, God says, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other, and you'll get healed. And
come on, Bishop.
A lot of our problems and our issues and our ills and our sadness and all you need to do is just go talk to somebody. Just go talk. A lot of us are walking around hurt, and the only thing that you need to do to fix this is really just go talk to somebody. You need to get that stuff out of you.
Exactly.
And a lot of us we're not, and I mean, I'm a black guy, I understand. I was raised in a single parent household with a black mama who just didn't have time to do a lot of things. And it took me a while to understand it's okay to be emotionally vulnerable, and it's healthy to be emotionally vulnerable. You just need to find your safe place. So I would encourage and advise anybody who listens to this, please, if you know good and well, you can't talk to your friends about some things you're thinking. If it's depression, if it's sadness, if it's, none of my business have been working for years, I don't know what to do in my life. If you know your friends can't handle that, don't set yourself up. Go ahead and Google up a therapist. They $55, G. $55 a session. All right? You pay for Jordans, you pay for Nikes, you pay for, and if you go to a church, it's probably free somewhere. So utilize your resources. Our mental health is just as important as, how good you look, brothers. I know we get haircuts that some of y'all pay $20, $30. Your mental health is just as important as how good you look. So
It's more.
Yes, it's really more. So invest in yourself, take care of yourself mentally, and just be ready. Just be ready. Just keep yourself ready at all times.
And then I love that last point, because although like somebody might see that last point as reactive, that last point is really proactive. Like that is something that you can start implementing before everything goes crazy. Like
True.
You can go to a therapist and everything's fine, and they'll be able to make sure like they give you tools and like so you can better communicate, so you can share your stories better. That impacts your content. That impacts the projects that you work on. And of course, I'm not saying everybody needs a therapist, but I feel like everybody could benefit from a therapist.
Oh, 100%.
Like, unless like you do have that one solid friend where y'all do keep it $150 every single time y'all talk. But everybody's not privileged to have that. At least not yet, anyways. That friendship might be blooming. But if you'd have a space where you legit, especially, and I'm going to say especially our men, ladies don't come for me, because trust me, I understand. We need therapists too. But therapy is preached to women far more often than it is preached to our men. And to have Black men, because there are Black therapists, there are Black male therapists. Are they scarce? Depending on where you live, of course. But there are platforms where you can go online and literally search for a Black therapist in your city. And you can connect with them. You can have that cultural relation. There are sites where you can look for a therapist that's specifically based off the principles of whatever your faith is. Because we have all of these resources, especially if you are a college student, 9 times out of 10, if you are on a campus that keeps the lights on, you probably have access to a counseling center. And you might have to schedule them bad boys way in advance, because there's usually not enough counselors per capita in regards to like the number of students. But use that as a resource. Don't just go around here lugging everything on top of you, because if your mindset is imbalanced and your spirit is imbalanced, everything else is going to tumble. It's going to be a domino effect.
And really, you might want to utilize that also if you're in school, because it's free. You're paying for that, whether you know it or not. It's in your fees.
Yep.
So don't play yourself, please. At the very least, go ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be too lazy. I'm not going to even say afraid today. I'm going to say lazy. Don't be too lazy to ask. Because I know that that's really what it comes down to. I don't feel like it. It just really means I'm lazy. I don't want to invest in that. So I just can't say it enough. I know it's not popular in our culture to discuss that, and most of the entertainment is based around us being strong and being quiet, being a unicorn, and being. But you definitely, man, you need a place to break down. Everybody break down.
Right.
You do not want to do this at work. You don't want to have your breakdown at work or at with a loved one, somebody you're supposed to be sharing a good moment with, and something happens, you snap. Now hell, that's what you don't want. Shoot, your boy done snapped a couple times. And I was like, look, we can't. I'm too big to be snapping.
Yeah, see, I'm tiny, but I'm mighty. I have to get that under control.
Right, but I mean, I was, just my childhood. For me as an African American, to show affection in my culture, we gonna make fun of you. We gonna talk about your clothes. We gonna talk about your mama. We gonna talk about like that means I.
Hey, your daddy not there.
Right, and that means
you might know your daddy.
You might know your daddy. Well, your daddy ain't never home. So that's how we show affection. But over years, that ain't really, psychologically, you are trained to think that being tough, being witty, these are the attributes I need to hold on to. But not really being vulnerable, not really talking about my feelings and emotions. You start talking about, man, dude, what you did yesterday really, I was sad about that, man. That, you can't really say it out loud just because we don't know how to respond. It's either going to be in a comedic, joking fashion, or it's gonna be
that boy stop playing. You know,
right?
You was depressed. What? That's not funny.
It's not funny. So, you know, if you know, you know what it is. You probably it's probably all kind of thoughts coming to your mind as we talk about this. At least be curious. Get your Google on. Get your YouTube on. You know, we do live in a community where it's apps. You don't even have to get out your house. It's apps for this. So, yeah, I'm pretty much done. Do you have anything else that you want to bless the people with?
I mean, I guess I'll just wrap it up. Like, y'all just remember, Keys and Autism, need you to take care of your business and get balanced. Like, I need you to choose you today, because if you don't choose you, that is another person that is out here suffering in this world. And I don't know if y'all know what Social Security is looking like in retirement, but if we don't handle our business, it's gonna be a little funky in the next about 40 years for us. But seriously, on a very serious note, I need you to choose you. Because if you don't choose you, that is another one of God's children that is straying away from what He designed us to be. He designed us to be more than conquerors. He designed us to live life to the full. He designed us to be lighthearted and kind and gentle. You can't have any of those fruits of the Spirit when you are imbalanced. You can't live your best life, as Oprah would say, when you're imbalanced. So create a system. Make sure that you are delegating days specific to certain things, or whatever system is going to be best for you. Make sure you get a team of people that you can be vulnerable with, and a team of people that are going to let you know, like, hey, you can do better in this area, and this is how you can do better, so that you're not trying to make all the decisions on your own. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I'm definitely happy that I got to be on this call.
Hey, sweet. All right, y'all heard it. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. And we'll catch y'all next week.